Hey everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. 7 o'clock Central Time, Sunday evening, time for Sunday Night Live Chat. Rusty Nails is already on with us. Looks like we got Facebook coming up right now. As always, we are live on two formats, Facebook and YouTube. So we'll see how well Facebook cooperates tonight. We'll give everybody a few seconds to get their notifications and know that we are rolling and ready to go for the evening. So as you see me glancing back and forth, that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping tabs on two different formats and actually got a third computer up tonight on some other stuff that we're going to talk about. So I'll be darting around all over. Our friend Lee from New York's on. Glad you guys made it tonight. So lots of cool stuff happening, some cool stuff to do tonight, some fun stuff to talk about. Kim's on. Looks like we've got Facebook up and going now. So Norma made it tonight. So no comments on Facebook yet. If you guys are out there, let us know that we're ticking along with you. So Kevin, James, Jess, and Rico are on with us. So got a good group jumping on as usual. Lots of friendly or familiar faces. Papa T's Garage is here. And we'll get ready to get rolling. As always, check autocorrect on your comments. Joe's on Facebook, so Facebook is working tonight. Alan NC, number one's here. Chris is here. Check autocorrect before you hit send on your comments. If I can't decipher what you're saying, I just have to skip it and keep going. We've run into too many issues with that. Trolls, as always, you guys are great about jumping on and taking care of trolls and making sure they're not welcome here, because obviously I'm not going to recognize them because that's what they want. So that's another thing that I appreciate you guys helping me watch out for. Dad's on. Facebook's working over there. Don from Nashville's on. Scott's on Facebook. Roadkill Customs is here. Mr. PFF Flyer is here. So, and Big Job made it. So glad a lot of you guys made it back again tonight. And like I said, just help me keep an eye out for that stuff and make it better for everybody. If you guys saw my post earlier this week, I found out my phone is not feeding me voicemails. I had almost 30 of them in there that I hadn't heard of, and that went back 30 days. So who knows what had dropped off before then. Dan's here. So if some of you guys have called and I didn't call you back, I probably didn't get the message. Joe's on with us on Facebook, on YouTube as well. But so I'm still fighting that. They told me to clear everything out and they would reset, quote unquote, the system. We did that, and I've been checking it a couple of times a day manually, where I actually go in, dial in, punch in my passcode, and it is still not feeding. So I am going to have to keep an eye on that manually, but I apologize if any of you guys have called me probably over the last 2 or 3 months and you didn't hear back from me. That's probably why. So Jerry's on Facebook. Daniel, Kenny just jumped on with us on YouTube as well. So the phone thing has been an issue. I'm sure I screwed up and missed some, but I apologize for any of those that I may have missed. Let's see. Pete's on. Kevin L. Brandon. Let's see. Lance and Jared are on Facebook. And as always, Kevin, hit me with a super chat. That's so awesome. I love when you guys hit me with super chats. It amazes me that you guys think enough of what we're doing here to hit me with a super chat, but it is so exciting when you do. So thanks, Kevin. I super appreciate that. It means a lot that you guys are willing to support what we're doing here. So Jose from Miami's on. Glad Jose made it tonight. And I actually checked with Jose today. We're going to let you all in on a little secret. Jose's been getting on with us here for the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. That's right. Jose's our Mercury owner, soon to be. The Turnpike Cruiser that we pulled out of the building about a month ago. Jose called on that almost immediately the next day. We started talking about it. We've been hung up on the paperwork. The family we bought the cars from had lost the title. The title still was in their dad's name. Their dad had passed away. Hopefully they've got all the paperwork ready, and hopefully we're going to have a title soon, so that that Turnpike Cruiser is going to be heading to Jose. So super excited about that. He's going to be a great home for it. And glad Jose's not only is going to get the Turnpike Cruiser, he's been hanging out on here with us. So he's excited about it. I'm excited that he's going to get it. I'm glad it's going to a good home. And I know he's going to have a blast with that car. So been kind of keeping that under my hat because I want to make sure we were moving forward on the paperwork. But you see Jose Gata. I'm not sure. I'm probably butchering your last name, Jose. But that's where the Turnpike Cruiser is going to be heading. So Jose's hanging out with us. He's going to be getting the Turnpike Cruiser. I'm sure he's going to be keeping us up to date once it gets there. Victor from Houston just jumped on Facebook as well. So been wanting to let everybody in on that since Jose's been jumping on, but wanted to make sure we were moving forward on some paperwork first. So keeping our fingers crossed that it's going to get done, and we can get that Turnpike Cruiser headed to Jose. So glad he's on with us, and then that's been kind of the secret about Jose when he's been on here with us the last few weeks. So number one, the Rocket 88 is the first muscle car factory hot rod. Royal is the Kansas City baseball team. So the Olds Delta 88 455 coupe can become the running engine raffle. Yeah. Gail from Des Moines just jumped on Facebook as well. Took me a minute to get through that one, number one, to see where you were going, but we got there. Frank's just jumped on with us on YouTube as well. So, but anyway, I've been wanting to let you guys know. I told you guys we had a guy on the Turnpike Cruiser. I've been wanting to let you know what was going on with it, but there it is. Jose, he's on here with us. He's hanging out with us, and that's where it's headed. Cameron's on with us, but wanted to let y'all in on that. Once again, if you are on the Nobody Else or the Nobody Show Facebook page, on Facebook on Nobody Show, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page. If you want to comment, participate in trivia, participate in the auction, you will need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto page on Facebook or the Nobody Show channel on YouTube. If you just want to watch on the Nobody Show page, hang out with us, that's perfect. But if you want to participate or comment, you've got to be on one of those other two formats because this is just shared to the Nobody Show Facebook page. So please remember that if you're on that page. Let's see. Christian Dragajo, I can't pronounce it, but I'm glad you're here with us from Germany on Facebook. So glad you're here with us hanging out tonight from Germany, Christian. Let's see. Kenny, Terry says hello. Doug's on. James says everyone hit the like and thumbs up. So number one, 4 headlights, 4 taillights, 2 doors. It's nobody's 442. Yeah, it kind of actually that is kind of about what it amounts to. But a couple other things we're working on. I've got one topic I want to go over tonight, but a couple other things I'm working on YouTube. My buddy Mike Gallons, guy's a digital media genius. He's helping me out. We're going to be revamping some stuff on the YouTube channel. Hopefully, he's like, we need to do something different, thumbnails and titles and things like that. And I'm like, all right, dude, I'll listen, I'll learn. You're good at it, so stay tuned. Hopefully, we're going to be doing some more cool stuff on the YouTube channel with some changes and some things, and maybe trying to make a little better quality content, and a little better quality descriptions and things like that. So I know just enough to get me in trouble. Mike knows this stuff cold. Super good dude to work with. So stay tuned. Hopefully, we're going to have some more cool stuff coming from some changes and some tweaks we're going to make. We're not going to go in and completely revamp the channel by any means, because we're all here because we like cars, and that's what I told him. I said we can't get away from the core of it. And he goes, we're not. He goes, there's a lot of things we can tweak to make it a lot better. So as long as we're not going to get away from the core of what we're doing, then I'm good with it. So Kenny says, don't get rid of the Hudson badge. You mean this one? Kenny, you're going to get everybody started early tonight. Might be a rough night for some of you guys if you're going to get that thing started this early. Number one still wants nobody's patches for overalls. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I do like that idea. We've talked about that a few times. So yeah, that would be kind of a neat idea. I ought to check, see what it would cost to get some of those made. So but anyway, that's hopefully we're going to start seeing some tweaks on some of our stuff. Some of my older videos, there's videos from 2 or 3 years ago. I bet a lot of you have never seen. So we're going to, maybe tweak some of those, kind of revamp them a little bit. Because some of that stuff, I've never even, I posted it when I first started the channel and it hasn't even been viewed 200 times, but there's a lot of cool stuff on there. So we'll be reworking some of that stuff with some updates and stuff like that. Brandon t-shirts, I think it's in the text. If we get done, you click on the text. I think they're 22 shipped for extra large on down, and I think double and triple extra 24. So, but yeah, and you can catch me on that. Give me a call, PayPal, friends and family, check, money order, cash, whatever you wanted to do. But I've got some here ready to go in black and gray. Sebastian's here. Glad you made it. Number one had to switch from beer to green beer. Cameron says maybe a bumper sticker. Yeah, that's something else we could probably do at some point. Hudson Badge. But anyway, so stay tuned. Hopefully we're going to have some cool ideas coming up on there. Something else we touched on. No, Sebastian, have not gotten the money for the plugs yet. So I imagine it'll probably be here tomorrow. Something else we touched on last week, I want to touch on real quick tonight is I told you I'm reading a Mel Brooks book. Hilarious. If you like Mel Brooks, if you like crazy comedies, you've got to read the Mel Brooks book. I'm mowing through it. I'm reading 20, 30 pages a night. It's awesome. I can't hardly put it down. Mel Brooks, It's All About Me. It is hilarious. It is absolutely great. If you dig that stuff, and I think you do, because as soon as I brought it up, I mean, there was just comments popping up instantly about Mel Brooks, Blazing Saddles, things like that. So far, I'm about halfway through it. I think maybe not quite halfway. Great book. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you like comedy, you've got to read that book. It was hilarious when he was talking about his first movie, The Producers. There was some stuff that one of the investors didn't like, and so he just says, "Fine, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's out. I'll take it out." He goes, which began a new series or a new part of my life of lying to the movie studios. Anything they didn't like, I told them it's out. It's out. I'll take it out. He goes, of course, I never took it out, but because it was so great. But like I said, you can totally tell he's telling the stories. So well worth getting. Definitely want to get the Mel Brooks book if you like that stuff, because I love it. I'll probably have it done by next week. So we'll talk about it a little bit more next week. But great book. Papa T's Garage. I'll let guys come hang out at the yard. I'm not open to the public at all, Papa T's. So if you were coming by, want to stop and look at something, you just have to schedule an appointment with me, because I'm not open, period. Even when I'm out there all day, I pull in and close the gates behind me. So you just have to schedule something with me if you're coming through. That's right. Number one, where are all the white women at? You could go on forever on Mel Brooks lines, because that stuff is so great. Sebastian, does anyone here enjoy the movie 1941? That one I'm not familiar with. Iron Daisies. It's good to be the king. Yeah. Forgotten about that one. Kenny thought it was pretty funny. Oh, Mr. PFF Flyer. Mongo, just pawn in game of life. That was a great line. Randy's here. Glad you made it. Big job. Sorry, I lost the show after Jose bought the car. Not much. Just talking about some changes that's going on with YouTube that I'm going to start changing on YouTube. So you didn't miss too much. Big job. The House committee hearing I'm supposed to testify at on antique titles has been moved till tomorrow. Obviously, if you guys were on here Tuesday night, you knew that, because we did do Toy Tuesday live. So this Toy Tuesday will be pre-recorded and posted, because I won't be back yet. Because I've got some stuff I need to do in Kansas City as well after I get done at the state capitol tomorrow afternoon. So I'm going to head on over to Kansas City, because I need to get fuel tanks for my 78 F-250. So I'm going to go up and see if I can get fuel tanks for that. And I got some other running to do. I got to stop by Classic Parts up there. And so I've got some stuff that I need to do in Kansas City on Tuesday. So, but anyway, that's going to go on tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Brandon, what in the wild world of sports is going on here? Yeah, that's what's so great about it. There again, you mentioned Mel Brooks, and look at the comments we get. It's so great. So, number one, hard to decide away we're getting with the 72 Olds. Actually, the 72 Olds is Dad's car, so that one he paid for. So you'd have to talk him into that. But kind of the big topic I wanted to talk about tonight. Super cool website, and I've heard about this before. They've had me on there. I've had some people call me and ask me about the site, but I wasn't very familiar with it. But Buzz called me this week that owns the website Roadkill Customs. He's on with us tonight, and had a great conversation with him. He's had a little bit of my stuff on there before, and we actually took some time. We had about a 30-minute conversation. Brandon says we should raffle off a 57 four-door Hudson. I don't think I've got a 57 Hudson four-door. So Iron Daisies titles are fairly easy to get in Wisconsin. They're fairly easy to get here too. They're almost too easy, and that's that's part of the problem. So that's where this issue has arisen, because they're almost too easy to get. So that's what I'm have to testify about tomorrow. So, but anyway, the website Roadkill Customs, like I said, I had a great conversation with Buzz. I knew he'd had a little bit of my stuff on there because I had people call me and tell me they'd seen me on there before, but I didn't really know much about it. So got some time to spend with him this week, and I highly recommend checking it out. Papa T's Garage. I have any 48 Cadillacs. I do not have any 48s. I've got 147 in the yard. Jason made it. Glad you're here. But what was great about the Roadkill Custom site is obviously, they've got some of my stuff on there as well as other project type car stuff. But there's a ton of DIY stuff on there. That's what really surprised me when we were walking through this and Buzz was explaining the different pieces of his site to me and what it entails. I've got it up on my third computer, and some of the stuff that he talks about on here. Kim says you missed 2 Hudson badges. You got to get caught up. So Jerry's here with us. But he's got so much good content. He's got stuff from other YouTubers he works with. Iron Daisy says there's a process and forms and such, and it does involve checking the VIN, and they do that here as well. Iron Daisies, they absolutely do that here as well. So that's, but they follow that process, but beyond that, that's about it, and that's where there's some changes that they're looking at making. So, but anyway, on Roadkill Customs, and like I said, check it out, bookmark it, check it regularly. They're always putting cool stuff up on there. Buzz is a super great guy to talk to. But what they have on here, besides your typical, the YouTube stuff, like my stuff and other guys and stuff they share, and about other cool builds that people are doing and the other builders that they're involved with, is so much DIY type information, which is sometimes tough to get. And some of the stuff of his popular information he's on there, and he built a lot of this. Buzz himself built a lot of this stuff, and it is invaluable to a lot of us car guys. So that's why that's why I strongly encourage you to look at it. Rick from North Carolina just jumped on Facebook too. So hopefully you Facebook guys are hanging in there. Hopefully the system is working. But a lot of tips is, about how to build a hot rod, how to chassis swap a classic car, engine, transmission, chassis, donor search, where to find a certain engine transmission, what did it come in, things like that. Ricardo Entertainment's on with us, that type of stuff. And then of course, project cars, parts cars, eBay Motor stuff they find on eBay Motors, hot rod tech, references, specs, how to do it on a budget. And here's a couple other super important things. Transmission cross-reference. And this one is really crazy. Wheelbase cross-reference. I want to use a newer chassis with disc brakes and an independent front suspension to put under my own truck. What do I need to know? This information is on there. And he's been spending 25 years or so building this stuff, gathering this data. He used to have a shop. He's done this stuff. He's built it. He's compiled all this information for people to use, and it's right there. It's just right there. You just click on it. Let's see. Lots of comments. Let me get some comments squeezed in here. Shop Cat, right at supper time. Still got to say hi. We watched some ice racing today. That sounds interesting. And he will have footage up of the ice racing because, like I said, like I just said, that ought to be interesting. So, Sebastian, any advice on how to store cars if you don't have land or money? There again, depends on how many you want to store and things like that. Obviously, if you don't have much land, you can't store very many. And a lot of places make you have to have them tagged, or they're going to make you get rid of them if they're not tagged. So, let's see. Things are rolling in here pretty quick. So, Ben, my 37 Street Rod's on. Jess is on. She said she's been on the Roadkill Customs website and it's great. So my buddy Mike's on with us. Glad Mike made it. We got to give a huge shout out to Mike. Mike, hopefully he'll have the loader running this week. My buddy Mike, he's been working on the loader at Murphy Truck Repair. He's on with us on Facebook right now. And actually he had it ready to start Friday, and I had the starter rebuilt and they had the wrong solenoid on the starter. So hopefully he's going to have it running, but Mike's on with us. He's done a great job. Super excited about it. Be sure to catch the update videos on the loader, and hopefully we're going to bring you another one of it running here this week. So just about there. So excited about that, and glad Mike's on with us tonight. But anyway, Rusty Nell says he just hides his cars. Todd's still got the 61. I've got that 61, and I do have extra 61 grills as well. So if you want to give me a shout tomorrow, I know have at least one more 61 grill in stock. I think it's on eBay right now if you wanted to look at a picture of it. If you just need the grill. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to get caught up here. We've got Buzz on with Roadkill Customs. He's on under Roadkill Customs on YouTube right now. So Jess says store it like the Nash, throw up a privacy fence around it. So, but anyway, Lance has put the old Chevy record to work. But there again, and like I said, I haven't spent a ton of time on Roadkill Customs, but Buzz spent some time with him, walked me through a lot of the important parts. But the things that he does this for the hobbyist. That's the great part about it. And it's got, different tools. In fact, he threw some stuff up on my buddy Mike Keller's wheel fitment tool, where you can, to set up your backspacing and stuff before you order custom wheels to make sure you order the right stuff. So, number one, Canadians cannot see items on eBay since I only ship to the USA. And I had to set that because of big stuff. The stuff that's big, Canadians would buy it and then find out shipping was so high that then they'd back out. So that's why I had to make it US only. So, but I've been super impressed with what I've seen on Roadkill Customs, especially something that is designed for guys like us working on your own stuff, with a lot of the tips and just like these reference charts that Buzz has put together that he's taken the time to build. Just like the wheelbase cross-reference, if you're looking for a different type chassis, things like that, you can put in different makes, different models of vehicles, and try to narrow down what you need by using that. So that's what's there. Again, when you go to a site like that and at least get some of that basic knowledge, and you have no idea how many times I get calls from people and say, well, I'm going to put on a different chassis. What do I need? I don't know. I've never done it, But so information like this is so invaluable and so great. Brandon, Roadkill Customs needs to buy a car out of the yard. So, let's see. Papa T's just looked the site over. It looks pretty sweet. So, yep. And like I said, super impressed with it. I know he's had me on there for walks. I've had people that told me they saw me on there, but had never really did a deep dive. And still haven't done a real deep dive, but Buzz will walk me through a lot of it. And like I said, so much of that information is so tough to find, especially from a guy that built it specifically for the hobbyist to go in there and utilize it. So Old School made it. He's a little late, but he's here. So like I said, obviously I'm thrilled that he put me on there, but the more I got into it, I realized how important this site was and all the information on there and all the knowledge that he has built over the years of building cars and studying this stuff and building these charts and just putting the information out there. So please support him. Please support his site, and please support the people that advertise with him as well. Because without this kind of information out there, it makes things a lot tougher on all of us. Now that I know he's got it on there, when people call me and ask me these questions about this stuff, I know where to send them. It's great. So Victor's on Facebook looking for truck you posted. I post a lot of trucks, Victor, so you'll have to give me a shout tomorrow and we can figure out which one we're talking about here. So Jess used the Roadkill website to check on cross-reference on rims. And that's a huge deal. So Eloy is here with us. So glad you made it tonight. But there again, when you get into all of this stuff, the wheel bolt pattern cross-reference, it's right there. Vehicles by wheel bolt pattern by make and model. He's got this database built for everybody. Roadkill, Buzz just said the bolt pattern page is the most popular one on the whole site. So Loch Ness Fox made it tonight. But there again, and it has breakdowns on it. It has graphics. It has dimensions. And it's all right here. I'm looking at it right now on the site. I've got it up on my third computer just because I didn't want to botch any of this stuff trying to do it from memory. So, but there again, this info's there. And it's so great that he's taken the time to do this. You get into the basics section, automotive basics, metalworking basics, shop basics, welding basics. So much stuff on there, so much information. I mean, builds and swaps, how to build a hot rod, how to chassis swap, chassis body swap, build examples. If you've got something you want to build, he's got examples of what other people may have used for a chassis. I mean, that kind of information is invaluable, can save you days or weeks of trying to figure out what somebody may have used when you can just go there and look at it. So Papa T says, thanks for the site. Yep. Jason just subscribed to Roadkill Customs channel. So that's great. And there again, it's what all this is about, is supporting each other, working together. That's why this group is so awesome. And it's what it has become, of all of us hanging out together. So that's what I told Buzz after I spent some time. I told him, this is great. We got to talk about it on Sunday night. We got to put the word out there. We got to tell more people about it. However I can help by doing that, that's great. So, but there again, like I said, you got to check it out for yourself. We could spend all night on this thing because, you know, DIY projects, tech stuff, tech articles, tools, you know, of course, rides, lifestyle, events, you know, just so much stuff, so much information on there that I could not share it with you guys and talk about it and spend some time with it. American Skulls made it tonight. I haven't seen you on in a while. Glad you made it back. So like I said, be sure to check it out. A ton of information. Number one said 4 of them have subscribed to his channel since we started talking about it. That's great. And like I said, check out the site. Roadkill said, or Buzz says there's 10,000 total pages of information on the site. That's a lot of information. When you're talking about different chassis, wheel and bolt pattern combinations, that's a ton of information that is right there. You just got to go click on it. Roadkillcustoms.com and check out what Buzz has going on there, because like I said, for the hobbyist, it is there's a lot of invaluable information on there that can save all of us hours, days, weeks of doing research when you can go there. And obviously Jess has already used it. So we know that we know some of you have used it. Great deal. And super excited. I appreciate Buzz supporting me. I hope we can support him. And like I said, that's great that those guys do it. So that throwing that information out there and doing the research and putting the information out there for all the hobbyists trying to figure out their own builds. So huge shout out. Thanks, Buzz. Thanks for contacting me. Thanks for touching base. Thanks for putting me out there. And thanks to all of you guys to help support what he's got going on over there. Number 1 says Roadkill, when is the app launch? Rusty says, thanks for the info. Cool site. American Skulls had been too busy with other projects. That happens. Trust me. I understand. I know exactly what you're talking about there. You get too busy on other projects. So James just subbed the Roadkill. Jerry gave us a whole ton of thumbs up. Wow, you got a lot of thumbs up on that one on there, squeezed into there. So anyway, Roadkill says, Buzz says, app with all the tech data is in the works. So he is working on an app for all this information. Obviously, that's probably a fairly good sized project with that amount of information on the site. So thanks to Buzz. There's a ton of info out there. And thanks to all you for supporting him. And like I said, just check it out. That's all you can do, because we could spend hours on that site for what is all on there. Anyway, who's ready to move on to some badges? And then let's check out a magazine. And then we're going to do some trivia. And we're going to have an auction. And we're going to talk about a raffle. We're going to have a lot of fun. So tonight's badges. And you know, if you've got any other questions about Roadkill Customs, you know, with Buzz on here right now on YouTube, if you guys on Facebook have questions for him, should go ahead and throw them up there, and I will sure read them out and see if we can get an answer for you. But we've got Buzz on with us, hanging out with us right now. So if you've got questions for him, go ahead and throw them up there. Even as we go into the badges and other stuff while he's on, now's the time to get your questions answered that might be able to help you out with your project, or where to go on site to help you out with with your project while we're going along here. So tonight, we're going to start off with, of course, an early badge and then move into a little bit later badge. The first badge we're going to check out tonight, this thing's pretty cool. This is definitely a statement piece. We're going to start off with a Nash Badge. And this thing is pretty impressive. There she is. A big, huge 8-cylinder winged Nash Badge. I can say huge. It's still big for a radiator badge. This thing is almost 5.5. This 5.5 inches across the front of this thing. This thing's 5.5 inches across. Can't really tell there. And 3 inches high. Buchanan's on with us. Buchanan Auto Sales. When you paid for the Buick badge and the t-shirts, Buchanan, there was no shipping info on there. So if you can call me tomorrow and get that to me, or send it to me in some way, I'll get that shipped. That's the only thing I don't have shipped is the Buick badge from the auction last week. And they also ordered t-shirts. So, and they paid me friends and family, but there was no address on it. So had a great conversation with them the other day, but just need the address to get that stuff shipped. So thanks for being on. And thanks for playing along last week with the auction. I'll get everything on the way out. Jess says it's beautiful. So let's see. Jason, Mongol like badges. That's good. That's great. We're gonna have, which this is actually great. I'll just say, I don't know about this. We're gonna have Mel Brooks comments filtered in from here on out, which is actually pretty awesome. If we have, I can live with the fact that we have to work with Mel Brooks Mel Brooks statements throughout like every show we ever do. I have zero problem with that because it's so awesome. Ozark Fox, just for kicks, you should hold up a Dorito or a guitar pick. Yeah, that's true. We can like flash something real quick and see if everybody drinks. So American Skull is going to be right back. Old School says I can just use his address. Buchanan Auto says he'll get a hold of me, just throw in a Hemi with it. I don't think a Hemi's going to fit in that badge in the box with the badge and the t-shirts. So Kevin, what year? We're going to get into that. Number one, how did Nash go from that to the bathtub? That's where their engineers eventually went, not for sure. So Sebastian, last time I saw one of those Nash straight eights, it went for like 70 grand. This could be a really rare one. Slide one up in front of it though. We'll hide it for a second. This badge here, I got some information off my new favorite website, American Auto Emblems. This was a 1930-1931 Nash 8. So Loch Ness Fox is on. Must have had a little snafu there with him. A little hiccup or something. But so this is a 30-31 8. This was kind of interesting. It had a little bit of a story about Nash that I wanted to share with you on the American Auto Emblem page, which is a great website. Also, you got to check it out. Charles Nash was a true rags to riches story. Born in 1864, abandoned by his parents at age 6, sent to a foster home, ran away at age 12, found a farm job, learned a carpenter's trade, worked in a grocery store, and was the fastest cushion stuffer at the Flint Road Cart Company owned by Billy Durant and Dallas Dort. Obviously, Billy Durant comes in, that name probably sounds familiar to a lot of us, but Dort was also part of that. There was actually a Dort car. I got a Dort badge, by the way. By 1895, it was managing the Durant-Dort Carriage Company. By 1910, he was heading Buick Motor Car Company, and by 1912, Nash was president of General Motors. Number one says it's a Hudson-Nash combo. You got to chug. Let's see. Jason has something. Oh, it said nursing chug. It was something with autocorrect. Bill's on with us. Glad Bill made it. Said hit the like, everybody. Appreciate that. So he actually went to work for GM and was actually running Buick. He resigned from GM in June of 1916 following a policy dispute with Billy Durant, traveled to Kenosha, and bought the Thomas B. Jeffrey Company, producers of the Jeffrey. I didn't know there was a Jeffrey. Number one says, you call somebody a cushion stuff around here, you're looking for an Uncle Sandwich. Yeah. So he bought the Jeffrey Motor Company in Kenosha, and they continued production as Jeffrey for a little bit. And in mid-1917, they started wearing a Nash badge, is what I found, is what it says on the American Auto Emblem site. The first real Nash, or the first neatly designed Nash, was a well-built six-cylinder that was introduced April of 1918 and was well received by the press. Sales of over 10,000 cars in 1918, and doubled to 27,000 in 1919. In 1920, Nash introduced the Lafayette, However, it did not take off and was abandoned in 24. Nash sales rose to over 50,000 by 23, and the business was making good money. Nash attempted another new car in 1925, the Ajax, which had its own badge, but this was also unsuccessful. It was eventually renamed the Nash Light 6. In 1926, all Nash cars became six-cylinders, and in 1928, sales exceeded 138,000 units. The Great Depression did not hit Nash as badly as other manufacturers because Nash had managed his business and finance as well, even though the sales did slow as the Depression came in, which is right around when this badge obviously came out, being 1930, 1931. So there's a little bit of history of Nash and how it led up to this in 1930. Alfred, still love my 42 Ford GPW script Jeep. Yeah, those were pretty cool. So it's kind of a neat piece. Like I said, it's a statement piece being 5.5 inches wide. Still nice and flat. This appeared to have had some, I don't know if this was riveted on or studs. They've been cut off or broke off on the back. Is how this was mounted. So we can see from the side, there's not really anything left there as far as a stud or anything, but definitely a statement piece and a very beautiful badge. 1930, 1931 Nash 8. So cool piece there. Definitely thought that one was well worth checking out. So there's our early badge for tonight. The next badge we're going to step up to, everybody's going to recognize. It's a pretty common badge. It's an early 60s era badge. And it's from a Ford. And a lot of our muscle car people will recognize this immediately. Kenny, great info in the 60s. He wanted to play with David Crosby and Steven Stills. Yeah, exactly. That's what you almost got me on that, Kenny. That is a process. Wow, great info. In the 60s, he went on to play with David Crosby and Steven Stills. Pretty sure that was a different Nash, but it's you did a good job of sliding that one in, so I'll give you credit for that. Let's see. Bill, howdy, Big Chevy. Big job. Big job's getting badge intoxicated. Number one, the Nash Lafayette in the late 30s, early 40s are mistaken for Willys, and usually the trivia grand prize at a car club question. So another badge we got right here is a Hudson badge. But the next badge, muscle car era, early 60s, and a lot of you guys are going to recognize this immediately from the early 60s Ford. This is an original 427 off of a early 60s, like a Galaxy. They used them on obviously multiple Fords in that 62, 3, 4 window, I believe. This actually came off of a 64 Galaxy. However, it wasn't a 427 car. It was a 394 speed car, but somebody had a 390 badge on one side and a 427 badge on the other side. So I'm wondering if maybe that they couldn't find a 390 badge when they had to replace one or what the deal was. But super cool badge. Being an original one, I thought it was great. So I popped it off and stuck it in my personal badge box, so to speak, and kind of held on to this one. Jason's on a fridge run. Number one, any Hudsons at car shows in the future, some of us are going to get the shakes and the thirsties. Yeah. So obviously these are great. Even then, I know you can buy these new, but I don't want to go buy a new one and throw it in my badge box. I like the originals. Still has the mounting studs on the back. You can see this has some chipping in the paint, things like that. Back still pretty clean. At least, like I said, we see the studs. Still pretty flat. Got a little bit of a bow to it. But overall, the rally flags with the bird and the 427, super thought it was cool. So was a Nash badge on a radiator? Was a radiator badge? Yes, Pete, it was a radiator badge. That's where it went. So number one, you put the 427 on the driver's side, so the girl working the drive-thru was impressed. That's actually, I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah, that's another good way to put it. So, but so that's there again. We're moving up into the 60s, and thought it was pretty cool. Buchanan says it looks like a KFC original. Yeah, I don't think these were chickens. I don't think that was what the 427 was supposed to stand for. So, big job. Needs a 427. He needs a 427, a real one for a 64 Galaxy. Yeah, that would be the way to go on something like that. So, yeah, that's another good point. Jim said it could have been built on Friday. They ran out of 390 badges, and nobody was going to get another box of 390s till the next day, so they grabbed a 427 badge. And back then, I know, that was not extremely uncommon. Jim could be 100% correct on that. That happened back then. There was not a lot of rhyme or reason to a lot of that stuff as it went down the production line back in that era. Those guys slapped on what was there. This one's a little, and you slap on, 100 of these a day, it's very possible to grab the wrong one because you're grabbing 2 of them at a time. I don't know how fast the cars are going down the line, and it could have grabbed the wrong one to start with. You're right, Jim. You never know. You really don't. The number one of the 5 TPs and triangle feathers mean that I don't know. I think that's just to designate the bird of the TPs down here. I think I don't know a lot about the Ford bird badge they used, as far as any meaning on that. Big Job 64 is actually a 390. So Jess says it still happens now. And the reason Jess can say that, she actually works at Ford. She's an engineer for Ford in the factory, in the plant. So Jess says it still happens now. They still find it happening now of people just slapping stuff on them. So I guess that's still things were happening even today. Let's see. Kenny says, yep, that's true. Old school, many mistakes were made. Yep. Jess says the difference now is there are much more extensive inspections before the vehicles are actually shipped. So a lot of this stuff gets caught and repaired, hopefully, before it leaves the plant. If not, the PDIs, when they get to the dealership, it's supposed to be the final check before the vehicles are delivered to the customer. So when it gets to PDI at the dealership, hopefully they catch anything that the factory may have missed. And so that's what catches a lot of this a lot more today than what would have what they caught back in the 60s. Buchanan's Famoco Auto Center TPs. That's what they look like. Number one, Ford still puts 427s on badges on with the vacuum Mustang. But there again, so that could have been the fact. Like I said, this was a black on black 64 Galaxy 500 non-XL that was a factory 394 speed car is where this came from. So I've still got the car in the yard, but unfortunately the 390 and the 4-speed's gone. Somebody swapped it out with a different engine and an automatic, but still was excited when I drug it in and found a 427 badge on the side of it. Had to pop it off, had to add it to the collection of my personal stuff. So American Skull, does anyone have an idea on how to find a decently priced 56 Ford hood, F100 hood? A lot of the good ones are pretty pricey, but wants one that's dinged up for a project. So something to think about there. Iron Daisies, I have a 64 Galaxy 4-door sitting out back. Mom bought it new and parked it in 76. Not much left of it. So anyway, there's the badges for tonight. The super cool Nash. This one I'm pretty sure they probably don't reproduce. But like I said, on the front of a radiator, considering a lot of radiators just had no more than this part of it with these big wings and the big enamel 8 on it, definitely a statement piece that stood out. Jason, where are you located? I think that's probably to American Skull on the hood. I'm in Kansas. A lot of you know that. So Brandon, I had an 80 Caballero, 54,000 miles, factory dash, bucket seat, center console car. Yeah, and those cars are getting crazy too. Those are great cars. Pete, thanks for the info on Roadkill Customs. Already found something I need help with. There again, that's what's so great. Enrique is on with us on Facebook. So that's awesome because just from us hanging out and talking, Pete went to Roadkill Customs and found help with stuff he needs. Awesome. I love it. That's exciting. And I appreciate you supporting Buzz and that site because of all the great information that's on there. So, number one, does the giveaway feature the 455 badges or just the royal? Old school, you guys watch AMMNO NYC 78 F250 with 139 miles on it. That's bonkers. American Skull is in Ohio. Okay. Roadkill, Buzz is still on us. Roadkill Customs right on, Pete. That's perfect. Number one says that was a Caballero. Yeah, it was GMC made a Caballero. they were the GMC version of the El Camino. It was called the Caballero in that era. So Clint's on just purchased a 69 Buick Sport Wagon. Those things are cool. Love those cars as well. So that's what we've got for badges tonight. Super cool Nash, super cool 427. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And as always, we'll have a few more next week. We got another badge here too. Kevin liked them, so how about a magazine? Are we all ready to do a magazine? Lots of exciting things happening tonight. Good crowd on here. Enrique, when's the best time and day to come down? You just have to give me a shout and set things up and see what you need as far as what you want to look at, Enrique. So just have to give me a call and so we can have a chat about it and see what you need to do, because just coming down and looking doesn't always, find what you need. I've got, 1,500 cars on 20 acres. There's 4 shops out there. There's 6 semi-trailers out there full of parts. 2 more shops in town. Dad's got 3 more shops 20 miles from here, 3 more shops at his house. I own over 30 vehicles that are not here that I've written checks for and haven't had time to pick up. So best thing to do is just, give me a call. We can talk about what you need and see what I've got, and then set something up to when you want to come down and schedule something with me. So number one, Guy Caballero was a character on SCTV named after a guy on the set that bought one new. Okay, I didn't know that. Ken Nolan just jumping on to say hi, working and not on Wi-Fi. But at least you made it for a little bit. Ken Nolan says, don't shoot the wild turkeys. So we're backing up a few years. So we're not going on a turkey hunt tonight. Number one, Kevin Chatter having the big gulp, and we're all getting twisted. Can't even dig the badges. Buchanan, any direct flights into Great Bend? There's nothing direct into here. We don't even have commercial service in here. Josh, been asking about the 50s Olds whole car. Just have to give me a shout and let me know which 50s Olds we're talking about. So give me a call on that, because I've got several Oldsmobiles from the 50s. So to talk about what you need and things like that. Rusty Nelson has found an old Power Wagon over by Jason. Kevin liked the river car video. Sweet. Glad you liked that. I've got some more of those in the can to put up. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Number one, how long do you get to collect the car before it's resold? I don't know. I've had stuff that's been here for years. I've had stuff that's sold in a day. You never know. Josh, been waiting on this Olds for a while now. Okay, like I said, just have to give me a call. And Oldsmobile's a pretty broad topic, so that's why that's why I always tell everybody, you got to call me so we can talk about all the details about what you need. Josh, 55 Olds Dash is what he wants. I don't have any 55s at all. I don't have any 55 Oldsmobiles at all right now, so nothing in stock on that. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody here. I know I've already missed a few, but I'm trying to keep up. That's no problem, Josh. That's why we're on here. So, big job. Keep showing the badge, and it'll be BW's night to babysit. Number one, no, I mean uncollected cars. Oh, with the stuff that I've got to pick up, it just varies. Some of them just sit, a lot of times, especially when I buy a big load, like when I bought the 26 vehicle deal last summer. That's what I told you. I said, it's going to be a while. I said, I don't care. As long as you pay me, I don't care how long it takes you to get them. So I wrote him a check, and I've been slowly working on it. And I've got, I think I got about half of them. I know there's at least 10 or 12 more left to get. So we got a good start, but maybe I'm down to about 10 over there. So I think I got a little over half of them. And some of them, I've got some trucks. I've got 3 41 to 46 GMs, 2 Chevys and 1 GMC that I bought in 2010 that I haven't picked up yet. But I know the guy. I see him several times a year. We always talk about it. Yeah, probably ought to get over and get some of that stuff. Yeah, we'll get to it one of these days. So it varies. Some of them, people do want them out of there, and those I do try to prioritize. Some of these, if I know the guys, it's not a big deal. And like this one guy, he's like, whenever. I've talked to several, want to come over to, I'm busy today. We'll get it next time. So that's how some of that stuff carries on for so long. But yeah, those trucks I bought literally, it's been 11 or 12 years ago. I think it was 2010. So it'll be probably 12 years this spring that I bought those 3 trucks. I got most, and actually I got some pickup beds over there too. 41 to 49 International pickup bed over there that I actually forgot about till I stopped by there a couple weeks ago. It's got a rear fenders and a tailgate on it. So I got some good stuff over there I need to get. I just haven't gotten that far yet. So BW's Garage remembers cruising in his dad's Delta 88. Alfred, my dad's Hudson was the 51 Hornet, and he traded it for a 50 Studebaker bullet nose. Kenny's on a fridge run. Well, you better hurry. What badge may pop up again? So, everyone's still trying to get us to give the. You got to talk to Dad about the 7288. That's his car. So, Kim must be hitting the wine pretty hard. So, Buchanan says he's getting this way with his rollback to pick some stuff up. So, and kind of another interesting thing, Buchanan Auto Sales has been on with us here for about 2 or 3 weeks now. When he called the other night, we had a good conversation. He was actually born in Great Bend. He was actually, when he was a little kid, he actually lived in Great Bend. So that was kind of cool to see too. Let's see. Josh didn't want to admit it, but I have a 56 Buick that I want an Olds dash for. Okay. That 54 Olds, I don't know what it's got left in it, if the whole dash is there or not for sure on it. But of course, the 56 Buick dash doesn't look all that bad for the amount of work it's going to take to change. Jose, any 59 Mercuries? I don't have any 59s at all right now. So, Christian, 59 Chevy stepside truck. I've got some parts trucks here. I don't have anything that's intact on a 59 as far as a builder, depending on what you need. So, if you want to give me a shout on that, we can go over some of the details of exactly what you need. That's right, Norman. We do have a great group on here tonight. It's awesome. So we do have a great group and good numbers tonight. I super appreciate all of you guys being here and hanging out. Number one, so we're giving away another car that you don't remember where it is, but we'll do a raffle on it anyway. So, did you find did you Pennsylvanians find the Super Bowl yet? Let's see. Trying to keep up with everything before we get rolling into the magazine here. And I got a lot of you guys talking to each other, which is cool because all of us have gotten to become friends. A lot of you do chat amongst each other, which is great. I just don't want to miss anybody asking me any questions. So 65 in the chat, new record, pretty close. Yeah, I think we've been in the 60s before, but I don't know that we've ever hit 65. So that we're definitely got a great night going. American School, trying to build a custom car from the ground up, building the frame and everything, going to use body parts from random cars to build the body. It should be awesome if measured right. Yeah, that would be a pretty cool concept. If you take the time and make that stuff fit together, you can do a lot of cool stuff. So let's see. Anyway, it looks like we're pretty much caught up, I think. And like I said, I apologize if I missed anybody. Sometimes we get, when the other conversations get going, I miss some stuff. So I'm trying to stay on top of it. Iron Daisies have a Texas car, 69 98 four-door hardtop, and an Arizona car, 73 98 four-door hardtop. Both great cars. So the magazine for tonight. We've done a few from the 70s. We're going to back up to the 60s tonight. We're going to go back to June of 1966. A lot of cool stuff in this one. Car Life from June of 1966. Obviously, you guys know I'm into drag racing. We do Rocky Mountain Race Week. We have some great friends on that. Sick Week started today. Be sure to keep up with Sick Week. As far as what's going on Sick Week this week happening down in Florida. Tom Bailey's deal, another drag and drive event, a super awesome deal. That looking forward to catch the footage of that first year out of the gate. We'll see how well it goes, but I'm sure it's going to be great. Number one, if we can get 72 tonight, then he thinks he can get Dad talked into giving the olds away. American Skull's using an engine for a V8 from a 70s Ford Mustang, so American Skull's vehicle is going to be Ford powered, and that ought to be a cool piece when he gets it put together. But going back to June of 1966 on Car Life, here's the cover. Obviously, I like drag racing. Super cool, funny cars, big engines for Go Biz. Obviously got the flip front end. We see the injector stacks on the front of that thing. Super cool issue tonight to check out. Obviously, like I said, you guys know I like drag racing, been around a long time. So there was some super cool stuff in here in this June 66 issue of Car Life. Frank, grill for 79 Nova. Do not have anything there at all. I've got a 75 Nova, but no 79s. So I don't have a grill for that at all. Bill, American Skull, sounds like doing a Johnny Cash one piece at a time deal. Yep, sounds like it. But anyway, as we get into this issue of Car Life from June of 1966, a lot of great muscle car ads in here. But obviously, we're going to flip up. We're going to get to the meat of this thing. The funny car, funny fad, the super spectacular. We'll flip right to the page of it. We got a Falcon right there on the front. I think it's a Falcon or a Comet right there, which obviously those were a common drag car back in the day. Daniel, I worked for NHRA. Daryl Zimmerman was my first boss 20 years ago. I've heard that name before for sure. So glad you're on with us, Daniel. I don't think I've seen you comment before. Obviously, I'm huge into a lot of this stuff. I run around Scott Palmer for a lot of years, spent a lot of time under that dragster, and a lot of alcohol stuff. Love the drag and drive stuff. So I've done a lot of stuff with the SRCA drag strip here in Great Bend too, Dan. You ought to check out their YouTube channel. I did all the footage that's on there as well. Number one, Thunderbird 428. How different from the 427? That is a question from my buddy Jim Wicks because I couldn't answer that. I don't know what the difference is between the 428 and the 427 Ford. My buddy Jim Wicks, who is a Mustang, Shelby, and Cobra guru and expert. We've even done some videos with him on YouTube. That would be a question for that guy because he is the man on that stuff. I don't know what the difference is. But be sure to check out those videos that we did do with Jim. He's got some great knowledge he shared on some of those videos on some Ford and some Mustangs. Car 5R002, the one that just changed hands for $4 million. We did a video on that car at Indy a couple years ago. That's on the channel as well. So be sure to check that out. Mr. PFF Flyer, the cover of the mag looked like the Bruce Larson Chevy. I think you're right on that. Alfred, do you ever get the chance to visit the Big Daddy Museum in Florida? Yes, I've been there twice, I think. It's been almost 10 years. But, yeah, I've been there twice. Awesome place. I love it. Big job. Does the racetrack have a different site without looking back at where I watched you? Not sure unless you're talking about SRCA, but I'm not sure. Daniel's a 65 Falcon. Mick, just think of all your family on here that would take weeks off work to come and help get cars. Bill, that is Bruce Larson's car. It is in Harrisburg, PA, where Bill's from. So got some confirmation on that. But as we flip into the article, obviously a very well-known car, the silver Dick Landy Dodge. Very super popular car, very well-known car from that era. And we'll get into the next page. Like I said, and this is a pretty long article, a lot of text in this. No way to really get into all of it, but some great pictures I definitely want to share with you. A wheel stand in Chevy 2. Tom McEwen and a little Barracuda. Super cool stuff. And a so there's some great pictures of some cars, some old drag cars right there in that shot. And then obviously there's a super cool shot of a very primitive wheelie bar on this page. So it's kind of tough to show everybody that. I got two cameras up to try to squeeze it all in for everybody. But definitely, an experimental time of funny cars as they were, the altered wheelbase was getting really popular. And that's what eventually led to the funny car revolution as they started altering the wheelbases of the AFX cars, moving the rear axle forward, getting better weight distribution, and then eventually getting into a full flip top funny car. Big job. The logo track wars cover the resurfacing and construction, have a different site without, no, it's on the exact same site where they reconstructed the track is on the exact same place where the track was at, which was an old B-29 runway from World War II. Let's see. Daniel, I met Jim Wicks when traveling across country with a 63 Falcon Sprint. He helped me get a power steering cap. Yeah. When it comes to Ford muscle car stuff, Wicks is a man. Hands down, no questions asked. I got a question about a Ford product of that era, Mustang, Shelby, Cobra. It doesn't matter. He knows it. If he doesn't know it, which I don't think I've ever asked him anything about that era that he didn't know, he'll know where to find it. So, Rusty Nelson looks like him heading to work in the morning. So, Bill said he just saw it at Bruce's open house, so he knew for sure that was the Bruce Larson car. Number one, so when I was learning to ride a bike, I had a wheelie bar. Few more pictures of some other funny cars we're going to show you real quick. The Arnie Beswick Tempest, Arnie Beswick Gay Pontiac Tempest, Gas Ronda, of course, in a Mustang, and the super well-known, super popular Bill Golden Mavericks Little Red Wagon, all part of this funny car article. If I can get it, the pages turned back where you guys can all see them somewhat clearly on there, because they are such great pictures. Now, another cool thing about these early magazines, as we go back into them, is the 2020 hindsight that we now have looking back, because they do have some road tests in here, which is cool. And there, like I said, there's a lot of stuff in here, and we're always skipping over stuff. I'm going to show you this picture, even though it's open wheel IndyCar stuff. This is such a great picture. I got to share it with you guys. You got to check this thing out. So, like I said, there's so much stuff in here. We could spend 2 or 3 hours on a whole magazine. We can't do that, but I just want to share some cool stuff with you as we're flipping through. But getting to some of the road tests there, again, looking back with 2020 hindsight, which is what's so awesome about this. But one of the first road tests we're going to check out, and there again, this is brand new, June of 1966, on the Dodge Charger, a fleet fastback for couples or cargo. There again, black and white pictures, not a lot of color in these magazines. But you got to remember, the Charger had just come out. This fastback body was a new design and totally different than anything else that Mopar had on the market at that point. And not even a lot of fastback stuff out there. Obviously, the Marlin was already out by then, but kind of a different concept. Obviously, became very popular, but at the time was pretty new. The only thing resembled it, you go back to the Nashes or the Aero sedan Chevys and things like that. So, Pete, do you have any idea how old your oldest magazine is? Car magazines, specifically car magazines, I go back into right around 1950. I've got some Popular Science or something like that, which does have some car stuff in it, but not strictly dedicated to car stuff. I don't remember if it's Popular Science, Popular Mechanics, something like that was kind of a generic magazine. I've got some of that stuff that goes back into the 30s. So, but there again, Rusty Nelson says he's got that car. But this one, there again, we had a road test. We had a lot of specs. We had some cool pictures. This was, there again, kind of a cool interior shot, since this was, a fastback design, not extremely common at that time. And also a good exterior shot of the fastback body style on this car. Lots of specs on this thing. The test car, as tested on here, was a 383 4-speed is what this particular car was. Standing quarter mile, 1560 at 89 miles an hour. So there was no speed demon by any means. But these were big cars. There's no doubt about it. They were big full-size car. They were, call them an intermediate. They weren't quite as big as a full-size car, but by today's standards, they were a pretty good size car. But there again, it's so cool going back 2020 vision and examining what they said about these cars, looking at the pictures, seeing what they showed off, how they advertised them, how they marketed them, what they said about them, now in 2022 versus what they did in 1966. Buchanan says the big hair days. Yep. Jason's on another fridge run, because we haven't showed that a little bit. I don't know how you're on another fridge run. But the next road test that we had pop up was moving to the luxury arena on the 1966 Thunderbird Town Landau, the flying carpet on autopilot concept. It was kind of weird. They used a little bit of color on the page, but no color pictures of the Thunderbird. But we'll show you there. Obviously, we can see that you kind of make out the Landau bars on the roof. The entire page was red, and a lot of great detail shots on this Thunderbird article. I hope you guys can see them all. If I can get them in the camera range here, where you show a lot of the detail shots. Obviously, we went from a sportier performance car to a luxury town sedan, and they wanted to obviously show off the features of each vehicle that made it what it is in its niche market. Buchanan also says, I'd buy that for $1. Yeah. Once again, We get a lot of specs, a lot of details on the Thunderbird in our charts on the next page that really breaks these things down. And like I said, we could spend hours on this stuff. There's no way to do a super deep dive into all of this. Jason's back. He's in good shape, so we'll toss that up there for him. This Thunderbird was powered by a 428, rated at 345 horsepower, 462 pounds of torque. Automatic transmission on a Thunderbird. These obviously were no rocket ship. Standing quarter mile of 16.9 at 82 miles an hour. Top speed of 117 miles an hour. So, there again, and we all know these Thunderbirds were luxury cruisers. That's what they were made for. That's what they wanted this article to portray and show. But there again, that's what's cool. Looking back about how they treated them, what they said about them when they were brand new. The next one is a little interesting. This is also a road test, an interim report on the way to 10,000 miles. So this was a long-term road test report on something that was even a little more different for that time period. In today's world, this is extremely common. At this point in time, it was a little different. The Pontiac it's a Pontiac Tempest sedan. However, it's a Sprint. And if you're not extremely familiar with Pontiac, the Sprint was the inline six overhead cam engine that Pontiac came out with in the mid-60s. Big job. Yep, I ordered a 65 Bird years ago in a solid California car. So that's what was kind of different about this. This was obviously a long-term 10,000-mile road test on this Sprint Tempest with an inline overhead cam 6. Rated at 207 horsepower with 228 pounds of torque. These were no rocket ship by any means with that overhead cam 6. Scorched to the quarter mile in 19.8 seconds at 75 miles an hour. Top speed of 95 miles an hour. So obviously this was not the performance version of that. Now they did actually have a 4-barrel, kind of a little bit hotter Cammer OHC6 at some point. This one apparently not that. But Jason says you better stop and eat or something. American Skull. If anyone has some 58 Thunderbird hubcaps, he's looking for some of those. Yeah, if you want to throw your email out there, that's fine. If anybody's got some 58 caps, you can check out American Hubcap and Wheel Cover Collectors of the U.S. on Facebook. My buddy Robert runs that page. If you don't have any luck here, be sure to check with the guys he's got on there for a set of those hubcaps. That's right. Big Job says it's a grocery getter. Brandon's got to bail off. He's got to be up at 3. Well, I'm glad you made it for a while. Dwight, any rear bumper wraps for a 52 Chevy style line? I do not have any wing tips at all right now for Chevys, so nothing on that at all. So that's why the Tempest article kind of stood out, that it was an overhead cam 6. Now, this is something kind of interesting and kind of different in today's standards when data is essentially instant in today's world. If it happened 5 minutes ago, it's on the internet by now. This is the June of 66 issue, which means they were putting it together probably in April and then got it on the stand, or maybe even March to get it on the stand by May. And one of the articles that it covered was the Daytona 500, obviously a very early in the year race to just make the June issue of Car Life. So that there again, in today's world of instant information, it's weird that you have to think, to really get the scoop or the details. You probably heard the winner. You could have found the winner, but to get the really in-depth scoop story, it was several months later. Number 1, OHC6 was DeLorean's baby to build an American Jaguar. Penny pinchers and GM had to put in other cars to justify the engineering. Yeah, and that's right. Number 1, DeLorean did want to, did like a lot of European styling, things like that, with the Pontiac Banshee and some things like that he did too. So that's 100% true. Let's see. Hector, any parts for a 63 Ford Country sedan? I don't have any 63 Ford full-size cars in stock at all, which is kind of weird. I've got some doors off of a four-door hardtop. I think is literally about all I've got left on 63 Ford parts, but no 63 full-size actual cars at all right now. Okay, American Skull's got his email up. He said he knows it's weird, but he's had it since he was 12. So that's all right. So if you got 58 Thunderbird caps, hit American Skull up on that, or be sure to check out the wheel cover and hubcap collectors of the U.S. page on Facebook, and catch my buddy Robert's page over there. Those guys over there can probably hook you up for sure. Some more good pictures of the Daytona 500, some action shots, some shots of the Petties. Number one, I have to switch to fruit. You can't be all banged up 4 Mondays in a row. It's all right. I want to get you some orange juice or some apple juice or something. That's all right. Kenny, watching on 2 different devices with delay getting twice the that's actually probably not a good idea. Kenny's watching on 2 different devices. One's just a slight hair behind the other, so he's getting doubled up on Hudson badges. You might just better go to 1 device, Kenny. Jason says for the low life. What else we've got going on? A couple more cool things I want to check out, and then we'll get into some ads. BW's Garage, banana in the tailpipe. Daniel says, real cars driven by real men. Yeah, that's exactly what those cars were back in the 60s when it came to NASCAR. They were actually cars that guys raced. They were actual cars, bodies off the line, original shape, original stampings. They were actual real cars. So that's 100% true. Another kind of cool article that I thought was different, auto show. These were some show cars that were hitting the show circuit in 1966. The Chrysler 300X, the XVR, which was a Vauxhall prototype, the 300X, which is obviously a Chrysler, the Ford Magic Cruiser, and Sport Top Scouts. So kind of some cool stuff there. Let's see. We'll pop this up here so you guys can get a look at some of this stuff. This Ford was pretty cool. The way I understood it, this roof line would retract and drop down, so you would have a fastback type design, or it would pop up into a station wagon type design and actually had seats back here. This was a Vauxhall prototype. This was a Chrysler 300X prototype, obviously heavily based on the stock Chrysler with some modifications. The Scout with a custom top on it. So kind of some cool stuff there. That's right, Buzz. That roadkill. The days of win on Sunday, sell on Monday. That's exactly what NASCAR and NHRA both were back in the 60s. That's for sure. So I thought those show cars were definitely worth checking out. You know, that stuff doesn't exist. You don't see it that often. There's a few of those that survive, but very few. So number one says that Vauxhall looks like a Cheetah. It does look a lot like a Cheetah. But the back, like if you look at the windows, the side glass and things like that, and definitely the back of the car is definitely different than a Cheetah. So, but the front, the shape of the swoopy lines definitely does remind you of a Cheetah. There's no doubt about that. So, Jason, drink on Sunday, aspirin on Monday. Yeah. Next ad, or the next article we're going to check out, actually the last article we're going to check out, which I thought was really cool before we get into some ads, because we got some great ads to check out in here as well. Walt Arfons lights the fuse on LSR rocketry, land speed cars, rocket-powered land speed car done by the Arfons brothers, obviously well known for the Green Monster, running Allison aircraft engine-powered vehicles. This one was actually rocket-powered. We've got some cool action shots on these pages, and then we're going to have to check out the next page where it actually shows some of this stuff. So, American Skull's got to bail off. He's got to get up early in the morning, so I'm glad you made it for a while. So, Buchanan Auto Sales, knob grills and cherry bombs. So that's the car in action. And here is the still shots of this thing, of the rockets in this thing. And this is nutso. Obviously, you look at all the rockets. These are in the back of the car. These are auxiliary rockets. They put on the side of it. So somebody had to be crazy to go light the fuse on this thing, but they did it. And here's a little bit of other information on here I can show you. It actually shows the dash and another still shot of the car on the front of it. So there was the Arfons, and this was good. This was the one that Goodyear Tire was involved with, the Wingfoot Express, Wald Arfons rebuilt rocket car. And this was in this the chase for, which we're still chasing for, of Mach 1, the speed of sound on land. So here we are in 2022, still, Bloodhound SSC's been after it. Some other people have been after it. There's been rumors it's been done, but never been confirmed. So there again, to a certain extent, this chase still continues today, going clear back to 1966 to this rocket-powered car. That's right, Buchanan says, hope he was right with his maker. Mr. PFF Flyer, looks like something Acme built for Wile E. Coyote. That's not too far off, I don't think so. Number one, those auxiliary rockets are just for show. Auxiliaries don't get you home. Isn't that the saying? Yeah. Kenny, the birth of life insurance. So anyway, let's get through some ads and check some of those out. Number one says, can we just take sips when we see the Hudson badge? That's up to you, because there it is. It's up to you guys, whatever you do when you see it. Jason says, why? Let's check out some cool ads from June of 1966 from Car Life. Right inside the front cover, the Formula S Barracuda, special blue streak tires, stiff suspension, a high-performance V8 optional center console, bucket seats, optional front disc brakes, a tachometer, and a short fuse. That's how they were promoting the little Barracuda in 1966 with the Formula S package with a V8, which I believe was a 273 at that point. So, but a great ad. Color definitely stands out. Great text with that one. Cool ad. Obviously, we just looked at the Charger article they had. Mopar took advantage of the fact that there was an article on Chargers in here with a nice, although black and white ad on the Boss Hoss. But obviously, this one was packing a little more punch than the test car as they showcased the street Hemi with this one in this ad. Another great ad, and this is actually just a sketch, not even an actual picture, which kind of made it stand out a little bit. Now that you mention it, yes, it does look lean and hungry. The SS396 Chevelle. So almost like an artist's rendering. When you look at the guy wearing sunglasses, it's you wonder if it was a police sketch almost, So that's but there again, an ad needed to catch your eye, and that's exactly what it did. It almost looks like DB Cooper driving. I'm not sure. So does the Boss Hoss have the Cross Boss intake? I don't think it did. I think this was just a stock Hemi. Yeah, just a stock Hemi is all that picture was. So nothing exotic. Nothing exotic other than the fact that it was a 426 Hemi. Let's jump up a couple of more pages. This is kind of a cool ad. Once again, this is an artist's sketch. Your horseshoe and the hairpins. Kelsey Hayes disc brakes. Obviously, disc brakes still very, very new to the industry in 1966. It just came out all the way around on a 65 Corvette as standard equipment. Obviously, Tucker had them back in the late 40s. I believe Crosley even had them. But, very, very new to the industry almost. To the point where they had a specific ad specifically marketing disc brakes. Obviously, a fastback Mustang in the ad in the artist sketch to promote the Kelsey Hayes disc brakes. But there again, it's weird. But we're looking back with 2020 vision that in 1966, disc brakes were a pretty big deal. Today, everything's got them. Back then, pretty big deal. Number one, the old 6 headlight Mustang option. Yeah, they added a few driving lights to this one. Greg, any parts for a 69 Chevelle 4-door? I've got one 69 Chevelle 4-door but it's basically just about down to the body. There's a few, I think there's a few doors in it and the shell. That's about all that's left. A few pieces of sheet metal and a shell. Not much left of that one, Greg. If you want to give me a call and see if I had anything left that you needed off of that car. Next ad we're going to catch, a great one. Pete says the keystone slots on the other side are on the other ad page are killer. Let's check them real quick. Like I said, that's another thing. There's so much stuff in these things. There's no way to catch them all. But here we are. These are keystone on that ad. We'll go ahead and throw that up there as well. Like I said, we could spend hours going through ads too, but you see something cool, we'll definitely toss it up there. Rusty Nails, love to have that Charger with a Hemi. So, yeah. Big job to think in 1972 he parted out a 67 Shelby. Yeah, that probably wasn't a great idea. Buzz says he was eyeballing those keystones as well, Pete. So, yeah, if you guys see something you want to see, let me know. Because, like I said, we can go through every page and be on here all night. We're already on here quite a while, and I feel bad for taking so much of your guys' Sunday evenings sometimes. But that happens because when we get rolling. But it's great because a lot of it is due to your guys' participation and involvement. The next ad we're going to look at, full color, right in the middle of the magazine, 2-page ad, and it is a great, great, great ad in color of the 1966 Buick Skylark GS. Great looking car, action shots of the car, shows off a lot of the features. Beautiful yellow, black vinyl top, hard top. We can obviously from the angle of the shot see the hood scoops in the 66 GS hood. We see the GS badge on the rear quarter. We see an action shot of smoke in the tires. We see the road wheel. We see the shifter. We see the carburetor. We see the car. Another shot of the carburetor open. We see the tack. We see the interior. Red line tires. I mean, literally checked all the boxes for a muscle car ad of this era. So it is a great ad. Jason said he had some of those wheels on a 64 Impala. But so it's a great ad. I was really excited about it. I'm a bigger fan of the 67 GS than the 66, but still a good looking ad. Now, one thing that I did mention when we got into this is a 66 Skylark GS. In 1966, Buick actually had 3 GSs. And none of them were the same. Obviously, this is the GS were most commonly affiliated with the Skylark. However, in 66, you could get a Riviera GS, which they did use clear up into the mid-70s. The GS package was available on Rivieras from 65 all the way up until, I think, about 75. Even when they changed body style in 74, 75, I think the GS was still available on those. That's right, BW, butternut yellow on that one. But I know up through the boat tails because my dad's got a 73 Riviera GS that he bought in the late 70s. So, but however, there was another GS available in 66. Obviously, most of us know about the Skylark GS. Most of us are somewhat familiar with the fact the GS package was available on a Riviera. In 66, you could order the GS package on a Wildcat. Very few of those cars out there, something you definitely don't see very often. So, big job. Some awesome cars in those magazines, that's for sure. Joe says that is a good looking car. Yeah, it's a pretty sharp ad. Was definitely impressed with it. Definitely worth spending a minute on and checking it out. Going to flip to the back of the magazine here, to the inside back cover, to the Mercury Comet Cyclone GT convertible pace car, the official pace car of the Indianapolis 500 for the Memorial Day race in 1966. This cover's trying to pop loose on there, so we don't want to shred the whole thing as we're trying to show you the ad. But a nice color ad of the Mercury Comet convertible getting ready to pace the Indy 500, or actually was probably getting ready to do it right about the time this magazine came out on Memorial Weekend, since this is the June issue. I would imagine to hit the newsstands sometime in May or at the end of May. So, number one, GS on a wagon or sedan or just coupes. They were just coupes. I don't think the GS option was never available on a 4-door or a wagon. It was always 2 doors, hardtops, posts, and convertibles. If anybody's ever seen anything different, I'd be curious to know, but I've never seen or heard of anything different that it was available on. Jason, a friend of mine, has a 67 Chevelle that's in butternut yellow. Mr. PFF Flyer, I've worked on other people's cars since the late 70s. I sold so many projects and never had time to complete from working insane hours of the public. So, yep, that happens. That's for sure. Last ad we're going to check out before we get into classifieds. This magazine actually has a few classifieds in it we're going to get to check out. So, Mr. PFF Flyer. So yesterday, when I found out the 2021 Challengers were the last available to stick shift, he bought one. It's waiting for him down in Iowa. So that's super cool. Super glad you got that. Which motor did you get on that one, Mr. PFF Flyer? Be curious to know about that you got a new Challenger getting ready to pick up. Hudson Badge. Daniel, those Cyclones had fiberglass hoods that were heavier than the steel ones. So Mr. PFF Flyer has a 392 Challenger ready to pick up with a stick in it. So that's a cool piece. That's going to be fun to have. So congratulations on that. After all the years of working on everybody else's stuff, you're going to go get you something you want. But the back cover of this June 66 issue of Car Life, a Ford accessories ad in full color. Who's got everything for your Ford? Your Ford dealer, of course. From compasses to tacks to safety harnesses for child safety seats to wire accessory wheel covers. Now, what's kind of interesting with some of the prices on some of this stuff. The compass, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to make this out or not, was $7.95. The tack was $43.10. That was a pretty good chunk of change back then. The baby seats, $29.20. And this is what really kind of stood out. The wire wheel covers, $95, $95.65 for the accessory wire wheel covers for 65 Ford. That was a pretty good chunk of change back then, especially just for wheel covers. So Ozark Fox have a 226 inline flathead 6 from a 51 Ford pickup strapped to a pallet. Wants to fire it up just to hear it run. Yeah. Joe says that's a good looking car too. So there's a Hudson Badge right there. But anyway, let's catch a few classifieds ads. Number one, I think you mean baby ejection seat. Buchanan Auto Sales, he's back on the tacos. Kevin, any ads for the 66 Le Mans? Nope, there were no 66 Le Mans ads, just the article on the OHC Tempest in this one. Pay Ray 29, looking for a 65 Impala convertible. I don't have anything there at all. So let's get into a couple of classified ads, and then we're going to have an auction, and then we're going to do some trivia, and then we're going to talk about the raffle. So in the classified ads section tonight in June of 1966, here's what was available on the market. You could pick up a 1935 Auburn 851 coupe. Extra front fenders, soft padded top, stored 10 years, no rust, solid, complete, not restored, non-operating condition, $1,000. Sounds plenty reasonable to me. 58 Chrysler 300D convertible. Very rare classic. You got to remember, this is 1966, so this car is 8 years old. 48,000 miles, excellent condition, tight, flawless, red with white top. That'd be pretty. 58 300D, red with a white top. New Isky cam, dual AFBs, new Firestones, leather, full power, $1,300. 32 Ford V8 convertible with German Deutsch coachwork, red leather interior, classic coachwork, $2,495 for a 32 Ford convertible. Let's catch one or two more here before we get going. 1957 Ford convertible. So this car is 9 years old. 12,000 miles, bucket seats, never in rain, still factory fresh. $1,795 for a 12,000 mile 57 Ford convertible. And let's catch one more. 1937 Rolls Royce 25/30 Sedonka DeVille, Freestone and Webb, ex Doty Smith, aluminum body, electric division, complete history, excellent concours winner 37 Rolls Royce. $4,500. So obviously it was a different time and it was a different place. When you know a lot of jobs were a couple bucks an hour. $4,500 was a fortune. So it was probably half of a house back then. So, but there again, that's what's fun about it, is going back in time, taking a minute. Big Job says, get out the time machine. Doc Eloy says, what a deal. Jason says, Mongo like Miller. So Jason must be on Miller tonight. Alfred, that 226 from my dad's Ford with a 4-speed 2-ton, good engine. So he's familiar with them. But that's what we've got tonight for the June 1966 issue of Car Life magazine, with starting off with the funny car article, some cool road tests, and a lot of cool ads. Mr. PFF Flyer, the 58300D was the year of the ill-fated Bendix electronic fuel injection. Yeah, I've seen a little bit in 58. I think I've seen there was a couple of 59s that got out with it as well, if I remember correctly. So let's get into trivia. Who's ready for trivia? Tonight, we're going to try to give away the brake fluid can from last week. Buchanan is back on tacos. So Jason likes the cover. Yeah, it's a great cover for sure. We've got the Prestone all metal original painted brake fluid can from last week. Don't see that very often anymore, do you? An actual steel seamed can. Good condition, original cap. And we're going to time this one again and see if we can get a winner tonight. We're going to go 90 seconds. And like I said, we've been playing with trivia a little bit. I've been putting it on a timer for the simple fact that all we were doing was just sitting here until somebody found it in a video. 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes before we got an answer. So I'm going to read the question. I'm going to set the stopwatch on my phone, and we're going to go to 90 seconds. I will keep an eye on both formats, as always, on the Facebook Nobody Else's Auto page or the Nobody Show channel on YouTube. Once again, if you're on the Nobody Show page on Facebook, I cannot see your comments. So you would need to be on one of the other formats to play along. So anyway, tonight's trivia question is, and like I said, as soon as I get down to the question, I will hit the timer. We'll go 90 seconds. I will keep an eye on both formats for the winner for the Prestone brake fluid can. On the video on the loader, my Fiat Alice FR12 loader, you can clearly see the dealer sticker from when that was sold new. What was the dealer company that sold that loader new? Timer is started for 90 seconds. Keep an eye out on comments on both formats for the tractor dealer that sold that loader new. As we get ready for the auction tonight's going to be pretty interesting. Actually, it's sponsored tonight, believe it or not. So, got a few guesses popping up, but nothing yet. The name of the dealership. Jason says it's hard to type when you're drunk. We'll help you out with that. So, yeah, we've got some guesses popping up, but nothing yet. We're halfway there. We're just at about 45 seconds. I'm keeping an eye on both formats. Jason, I don't know if Jason knows the answer and just can't get it put out there or where he's at right now. We'll help him out a little bit more, though. So he said he didn't see the video, so so that's not it. So Restdale says type with the other hand. We're a minute in, 30 more seconds to go. Keeping an eye on them. And like I said, the only reason I put it on timer because the only thing we were doing was sitting here waiting for people to spend enough time to go through the videos and try to find them. No, the Notre Dame football coach is not the answer. Again, tonight, number one. And for anybody who wonders where that came from, we had a Rock Me on a video a long, long time ago. And ever since then, that's been his guess has always been the Notre Dame football coach. Just about done. Keep an eye on comments. And that's about it. So we didn't get it again tonight. So we'll try again next week. We'll see what happens. The answer was it was actually Weller tractor salvage, or not Weller. They had Weller. Weller's is where I got the crankshaft. Sellers Tractor Company is where that loader was sold new. So that's what the answer was. Big job I did, but he was checking out my cleaning job. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I like I said, if anybody caught that video, I didn't do a perfect job, but I did try to clean a lot of the grease and grime and things out of that thing, make it a little bit better for Mike putting that thing back together, plus getting more of the dirt. Now, Frank was close, but Weller, and that's Weller Tractor is where I got the crankshaft. Sellers Tractor Company was the dealer on the dealer sticker on the loader. So that's what the deal was. Yeah, I even botched it. Yeah, I botched it because I remember seeing that, but that was the deal on it. But so yeah, I did try to clean it up, got the engine painted. It's in there now. So number one says, who's eating off the engine bay anyway? Nobody. But if I've got some time to clean it up or a chance to clean it up, I'm going to make a little time to try to clean it up and make it a little bit better. So that's what I did. Who's ready for an auction? The auction tonight's going to be kind of an interesting thing. Josh, will you still have third gen Firebirds around summertime? I'm always going to have F bodies because I don't really sell much F body stuff. I just kind of hoard it for my own cars. But yeah, I've got a bunch of them. So, tonight's raffle is tonight's auction is actually sponsored by Big Job. Yep, Big Job called me, and after he won the raffle last week and said, hey, I've got plenty of wall space, send me the tags. And we auctioned the plugs last week. Sebastian got them. He says, auction off the cans for everybody this week. So I told him, that's cool. If you want me to do that, I appreciate the support of the show. I told him I'd throw a couple extra license plates in for him. He said, no, don't worry about it. He's cool with the plates he won. I threw a couple extra in there for you anyway. Big Job. They're coming at you. But super cool that, just like the super chat we got earlier, your guys' support of what we do here. So awesome. So, yeah, we're going to auction off those cans. So everybody get ready. And we're going to start off. We've got them both from last week. We'll start off with the mobile can. So these are the two we're going to do. We're going to do them one at a time. Huge shout out to Big Job. Huge thanks to Big Job for sponsoring the auction tonight and giving you guys all a shot at these. Number one says, sit on your wallet, BW, because Kim liked the cans. So let's go ahead and get started with tonight's auction pieces. We'll start off with, and like I said, I'm going to watch both formats. There was some confusion last week that somebody on YouTube thought they were bidding themselves up, but I actually had bids on Facebook too. So keeping an eye on both. And that's right, Big Job. Everybody say thanks to Big Job. That's so cool that he did that. And there again, I love the fact that what you guys do to help support the show and what I'm doing. So here we go. You can go ahead and start throwing bids on. Chris says he hates the cans. I don't think he hated the cans. He really didn't have shelf space for them, but he loves the walls, but plenty of wall space for the tags. So let's start off with the mobile can. This is a great piece. Obviously, with the Pegasus on it, anything with a Pegasus on it's a great piece. Mobile outboard. It's cool on the back. It actually shows the mixing of these cans, the mix ratios. Cool graphics on the side, 4 power saws, 4 auxiliary power units. Net contents, 1 U.S. quart. This side says for outboard motors and for lawn mowers. So Alan, NC, and Lee both came in at 10. So I've got Alan first at 10. So $10 is an opening bid from Alan, NC. I saw him first, and that's another problem with the system. It's whoever I see first. Number one's at 11. Sam made it. Glad you're here. Buchanan came in at 11. So we're getting kind of a slow start. Everybody's coming in at the same numbers right out of the gate. So, but this is a great can. Still has a cap on it. Alan NC's in at 15. There we go. This can does have a few dingies and a few dents in it, but the important part right here on the face, it has great color and a little bit of scratching on it. But there again, still a great display piece and definitely stands out. Like I said, you guys are lucky that Big Job really didn't have a lot of shelf space. Jason says alcohol and auctions don't mix. That will help you out there. So Andrew, the music fan's on tonight. But I am watching both formats. If anybody on Facebook wants to bid, I don't have any bids on there as of right now. But as of right now, I've got Al and NC at 15. So we'll keep going here for a little bit, and we'll look at a few more things on this. This must have been like a 2-stroke oil. Directions: always mix mobile oil outboard with gasoline in proportion recommended by manufacturer of your engine. So this must have been like their 2-stroke oil of the era. To measure quantity of mobile outboard required, grip can in right hand and pour into mixing container until the line denoting required position, requiring quantity in horizontal position. So Jay says he's already got one of these cans, so he's safe for now. So that's literally what they were telling you. You had to look at the angle of your pour based on this chart as you were pouring the can in to see where your mix was at on your ratio. I got Kenny at 16. So we're getting ready to put it on a timer here real shortly. This is pretty cheap for this can. This is a pretty decent can. Anything with a Pegasus on it is worth something, that's for sure. So I've got Kenny at 16. Kim says she's not going to play, so she's out. So We're getting ready to set the timer on this one. We're going to give it another minute. We're going to give it a minute once we set the timer. I've got Alan NC at 20. Getting ready to set the timer. We're not quite there yet. Jason, it's all with the angle of the dangle. That's exactly what it amounted to. This is, back before we had the clear plastic cans where you could see on the side what you were pouring in. You literally had to study the angle of your pour to know what you had. So anyway, we've got Al at 20, Ellen and C at 20. We're going to set the timer for 1 minute and let's go. We're down to the last minute. I've got Al at 20 on the mobile outboard can. Kenny's in at 21. 15 seconds in. So Kenny's our high bidder at 21. Nobody wants to play on Facebook tonight at this point, maybe on the next one. So 30 seconds left. Anybody wants in? We've got Kenny at 21. He's the high bidder right now. Smoking deal for this can. And we're down with 20 seconds left. We got Al at 25. Alfred says, give him some coffee. 15 seconds left. If you want to get in, now's the time to get in to make sure your bid pops up. Al at 25 on the mobile oil outboard can. 10 seconds left. And I got Lee at 30. Just about done. And that's it. I've got Lee at $30. Lee Carr is our winner at 30 on the mobile can. That was a smoking by Eloy. Come in a little late. That's one thing about the timer. We had Eloy at 32, but I was already done. That's why I tell everybody, I try to give everybody a heads up on, Lee sniped Al, and then Eloy was trying to snipe Lee. So that's why I tell you when we're at 30 and at 15 to make sure you fire those through, a little bit ahead of time. Sam's saving money for 56 3100 fenders. Yeah, and then you need to save a lot of pennies for 56 3100 fenders, that's for sure. So, Hudson Badge. Jason's on another fridge run. Congratulations to Lee. The good buy on that can. That's a nice can. Now, the next can. Number one, bummed Angel Food. He bummed my Angel Food cake and missed the last bid. That was a good deal. That's a nice can. Now, the second can that Big Job donated. The Haviland can. This is a Haviland Texaco. This is an all-steel can as well. Steeled on the top, drained from the bottom. Few dings and dents, a little bit of scratching right here on the T and the E on the Texaco, but the cool wavy graphics around the side of this thing satisfies all car manufacturers' warranties. Texaco Inc., New York on the back shows some of the specifications on there. So let's get this one rolling. As once again, sponsored by Big Job. He donated these back to us, which is so awesome to let us auction them off tonight. So who wants to start off the Haviland can? Let's get rolling on it. Eloy's got some of these that are full. So looking for the first bid on the Texaco Haviland can. This is a little more common than the other one, but still in pretty good shape. So Rusty Nails, no scratches. Wait till FedEx gets a hold of it. These I'll ship mail. These are empty, so they're pretty light. So I'll put them in the mail on these. So I'm going to get us rolling on the Haviland can and get this auction started on it. Once again, sponsored by Big Job for tonight's raffle that he donated back from the raffle he won last week. I've got Jason in at 10, so we're rolling now on the Haviland can. Big Job says hit the big money. So that's right. Jason's in for 10. Anybody else in for 15, 12, 15? Where are we going with this one? Still in good shape, still nice color, still good graphics and nice paint on this one. Plus, it's not punched on the top. SAE 30 heavy duty. I've got Kenny at 15. So, good piece for the shelf. Buchanan came in at 15 too. I've already got Kenny in at 15, so you're going to have to be 16 Buchanan if you want to come in. And like I said, all I can work with is the feed. Joe came in at 10 as well on Facebook, but we were already past that. So Buchanan came in at 16. If you want back in, Joe, we got to be over 16 at this point. I've got Buchanan at 16 on YouTube. We'll get ready to put this one on the timer here in just a second. So get the phone open back up. I've got Frank at 20. Joe came in at 16, but I got Frank at 20 on YouTube. So we'll set the timer. Everybody get ready for your final bids. Think about where you want to be at on it. We just seen some guys get sniped on the last can, so keep an eye out. Going right now, I've got Frank at 20. Sam says, break out the auction voice. I'm not very good at the auction voice. That's what my partner Chris Froscher's for with the F&E Collector Auto Auction. Hey, come here, dum-dum. There we go. Yes, hi. What are you doing? You going to say hi to everybody? So the Gray Kitty come to say hi tonight. All right, we're going to set the timer. I've got Frank at 20 on YouTube. Here we go. Timer is set. 1 minute, and we're going. So, watching everybody. Frank at 20 is where we're at right now. That's right. Old Schools is the kitties here. Keep an eye on both formats in case Joe wants back in on YouTube. 15 seconds has passed, so we're down to 45 seconds. That's why I'm going to give you the timers. That's right. Hey, Gray Kitty, meow. Yep. I'm watching the clock right now. Coming up on 30 seconds. There's 30 seconds. If anybody wants in, I've got Frank at 20 at this point. She's sitting on the other computer, so now it's making beeping noises and stuff. So I got Joe at 21 on Facebook. 45 seconds has passed. We got 15 left. Down to 10 seconds. If anybody wants in, I've got Joe at 21 right now. 5 seconds left. And that's it. We've got Joe at 21. So Joe on Facebook. And Lee came in right at the end at 22. There again, like I said, we got to be careful. And I apologize, but we missed that on Lee because it was too late. We came in after the fact. Sometimes we're at the system's mercies. Buchanan came in at 25. That's why, and that's something that you guys are going to have to get used with. It didn't show up to me before it ended, BW. You guys may have seen it, but it wasn't showing it to me. So that's where we kind of get into a little bit of a system feed issue, and I apologize for that, but all I can do with it was what it shows me. We were, when I shut the timer off at 1 minute and 3 seconds by the time I got hit end, and I had Joe at 21. So I apologize. I know, and that's always going to happen at the end. So that's why I tell you when we're at 30 and at 15, so you guys can send it through and give it a few seconds to get through. So I appreciate everybody playing along, but that's what we've got for tonight. Huge thanks to Big Job for donating back tonight for the auction. BW says happens a lot on his live as well. And anytime we're doing a live, we're going to be at the system's mercy on some of this stuff. Ozark Fox says auction the cat. What are you worth, huh? What are you worth, Gray Kitty? Come here. What are you worth, Gray Kitty? Yeah, everybody wants to see you. What are you worth? Yeah, you're going to go wander off. You like sitting on the other computer, apparently. Kim says she'd buy the cats. What's in my cup? My cup's water. I got to drink a lot of water because I do a lot of jabbering up here. 35 for the cat. So, thanks, Lee. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being a good sport about it. And that's what's great about everybody on here is everybody plays along and everybody's a good sport about it. So, and I super appreciate that. This month's raffle. I thought long and hard about it. We've talked about the pedal car. And I think what we'll do, thanks, Big Job. Hey, you don't have to fist bump me and thank me. You did that. You made that happen. So I appreciate that. I think what we'll do on the raffle, we'll go ahead and put the pedal car up for the raffle. That's right. Lisa's oil cans are addicting. I know that fact. Holy cow, do I know that fact. Because there's so many great ones out there. We're going to go ahead and raffle the pedal car. $45 shipping on the pedal car, flat fee, whatever it is above and beyond that, hopefully the raffle will take care of. We're going to raffle the pedal car. If the winner is on when I pull the name at the end of the month or the first of the month or whenever we do it, and they do not want the pedal cars because of the shipping, they will have the option to take second prize, and then we'll redraw again for the pedal car. As long as everybody follows that. So the main prize is going to be the pedal car. When we draw names, if I draw the name and you're on, you got to be on so I know what you want to do. We will pull the name out. If you say, I would prefer second prize, I don't want to have to ship the pedal car, don't have room for the pedal car, perfectly fine. You get second place, we redraw for the pedal car. If we have 10 or more entrants, then we'll have a third prize. And we can do it again if need be before we find somebody that wants to pay for the shipping on the pedal car, or at least pay part of the shipping on the pedal car. So the number one says the cat can't come to Canada. It ain't triple vaxxed. So Kevin says the Hudson badge is kind of addicting too. So number one says he's bidding for Kim to send Gray Kitty to Pennsylvania. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. We've talked about it, and I was like, let's just do it that way. There's a lot of you guys that do want a shot at the pedal car. I've had a lot of positive response about the pedal car. So that's what we'll go ahead and do. Here it is. I'm going to try to show it to you best I can. I will post some more pictures of it as I do the posts. Next Sunday when I do a post, I will add to some more different angles of the pedal car so you guys get a better look at it. Jason, look forward to Sunday nights every week, and not just for the beer. Really enjoys hanging out with everybody. That's what makes it great, Jason. You hit the nail right on the head. It's everybody on here. Like I tell you every week, it's everybody on here is what makes this thing what it is. Not this monkey sitting behind the camera. It's all you guys. But anyway, let's take a look at the pedal car one more time as best we can. And here it is. This is an original all-steel 60s era pedal car, original body. It has had some changes. The wheels are not correct. It has been braced in the seat for the running gear. It does work. This all does work and function. It is intact underneath. It has been repainted. Good looking nose on this thing. If I can get it to where you can see the nose. As well as, the taillights and everything cast into it. One little tiny rust spot in this body right here. So this is a pedal car you could enjoy. You could let kids play with it, or you could restore it back to original because it is a good body to work with and it is intact, or it would be a super cool project for a hot rod customized pedal car. So that's what we'll do. We'll see if you guys want to do it or what you want to do, but the Raffle, the primary, is going to be the pedal car. Number one, I've already designed Woody decals, stock car, race car decals, and fire chief badges for that pedal car. So sounds like number one can hook up the winner on that thing. Inside looks clean. Yeah, it's been repainted and redone. But like I said, since it's not original, you could restore it, you could customize it, or you just let somebody play with it, So same deal, $1 a chance, PayPal friends and family only. That address is in the text part of this video if you click on it when we get done. And you get the CSE3@cox.net PayPal address. You can send it to that, and or check, money order, cash, whatever you guys want to send me. I get it in the mail all the time. You can do Western Union. Whatever you guys want to do, just let me know. But we will start putting names in the big Buick oil can as soon as they start coming in. So now, a lot of you guys are wondering, what if I don't want the pedal car? What do I even want to get in if I don't want the pedal car? So I'm going to show you what second place is going to be right now. Second place is a couple of smaller pieces, but they're still great pieces. First piece is a can. This is a 1 pound Wanda grease can. This has some scratches on it, but it is an original, a decent shine to it. It is an original can, 1 pound grease can. Oh, the cap is missing. These would have had a press on cap. Let's see. Jason, it'd be so cool to meet you guys one day. Yeah, that would be great. Kenny says his 25-year-old won't fit in there. So this is a 1 pound grease can. These are a great size. This can is about 4.5 inches tall. They are about 3 1/4 across the top. The better grease manufactured at the better grease, or no better grease manufactured at any price. Wanda Grease. Cato Oil and Grease Company, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So like I said, it does have some scratches in it, but you can still make all of the graphics. Got cool red stripes slashing down the side of the can. Same on the other side. This one, it's blank, but it did have a spot for like a weight of the oil. But since this was grease, they probably did not have it on there. So second prize or first prize, if they don't want the pedal car, will have the option of taking second prize, which will be this, and a new old stock. And this is a little bit different. We've had some weight rating tags on here before. This is a different style. A new old stock 2.5 ton weight rating tag. This is a really cool piece, great size. Kevin's originally from Oklahoma, so number one, went to high school with Wanda, who knew I couldn't grease her. This is almost 5.5 wide, and it is about 2.25 tall. So this is a super cool piece. It is new old stock, brand new, never been added to a license plate, I guess, on a vehicle. So Buchanan must have been some good grease, yeah. So I figured we'd do it that way because these are both great pieces. They're both nice, good collectible pieces. So that way, anybody that wants in, if you don't want to take the pedal car and because you don't want to participate in the shipping, don't know where to put it, this is second prize. This is still a pretty decent second prize. If we get 10 or more in, then we'll have a third. So we'll just go down the ladder. When we do the drawing, we'll grab the big Buick oil can. If I pull your name and you're on and you say, I would rather take the can and the tag, then we'll draw another name. That person will have the option of the pedal car. If we have 10 in, then we'll have we'll have 3 prizes. I've had a lot of guys that were interested in the raffle for the pedal car. So I would think we're going to get a name out that's going to want the pedal car as well. So Buchanan says he'll be third. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I hope that's cool with everybody. But that's what I want to try to do is whatever we pull out of here first has the option. But you've got to be on when we do the raffle. If you're not on, I'm just going to assume that you want it and you can't instead of opting for second place. So Big Job likes the 2.5 ton plate. So that's cool. So that's how we'll work it this month. It's a little bit different, but a lot of people asked about doing the pedal car. That way everybody can get in, and the shipping, that way. Now the fourth place isn't the 7288 number one. The shipping, won't be all the full responsibility of the raffle. If everybody that's playing knows that they're going to have to participate in the shipping on it, and we can still give it away. And then if somebody doesn't want it, we got some great pieces for that person as well. And then if the winner takes the pedal car, somebody else is going to get these as soon as we give the pedal car away. So a little bit different, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. So I hope you guys like that idea and like that concept. Billy Bowman's here, so glad you made it tonight. But anyway, what else happened this week? New inventory, not much. I didn't have a ton of time. My week was pretty screwed up, as you all know. I was going to be in Topeka to testify at that House committee hearing. I had everything planned so I could get to Kansas City, get a bunch of running done in Kansas City, be in Topeka on Wednesday. And so and then ended up not having to go to Topeka, had to come, I left that morning and then said they told me to stop because we don't know if we're going to be in session. So we killed part of that day, and my whole week was just kind of a mess. But I did get one vehicle picked up and got a couple others bought. Big Job. I hope you're okay with $1 because chances seem cheap for a pedal car. Well, obviously it's $1 chance, but a lot of guys buy 5, 10, some guys buy 20, and that's what makes it work. That's why when we get 10 or better, that's how we can give away a third prize. Because if we get enough guys in, even if they're just $10 a piece, $5 a piece, $20 a piece, it adds up enough to where we can cover the expense of doing it. So that's what's great about it. Kevin, enjoyed tonight, but got to go. So I'm glad you made it for a while. Jason, he'll draw me for the pedal car, but pronounce it wrong. Yeah, Jason said I got everything wrong last raffle. I don't know. For some reason, every name I pulled, he said I was wrong. So Buchanan, nope, I don't take Lowe's credit card. Those don't have any way to do that. But so that's what we'll do. We'll try it. We'll see what you guys think. We'll see how it works, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, the only thing I picked up this week, I bought a BW's got to get to bed too. Yeah, you're Eastern, so you're an hour ahead of us. I bought a batch of vans yesterday. Yep, full-size big vans. I think vans are going to be really tough to find pieces for. I found this load. A buddy of mine put me onto it. So I bought all three of them. I brought one of them in. I picked one up yesterday. And then, I got to go back and get the other two. But I did do a little short video of exactly how I found them, where I found them. And then we're going to do some more detailed videos as I get them drug in. Number one, are they boogie vans? They kind of look like it. They're big full-size vans. The one I picked up yesterday was it's a November of 83 build. So I think it's an 84 Ford Club Wagon. Big full-size Ford van. You don't see them very often anymore. So we'll be getting that video up too. Let's see. Kim's got to get going. She's work comes early. Jason did finally post a picture of one of his emblem displays on the Facebook page. So I'll have to check that out and see what he had going on there. So the only thing interesting for new inventory was the 84 Ford Club Wagon. Now, Rusty Nelson's an A100. I've got one A100 van in the yard right now. And there were no A100s in there. There's a 74 Ford, I think. And then there's a big Dodge. But I think it's hard to tell on those vans sometimes. They made those very similar bodies for so long. I think it's a late 80s Dodge because the hubcaps look like late 80s era Dodge pickup, late 80s, early 90s. So I think it's a late 80s, maybe even a 90 Dodge full-size van. But we'll be showing you those. Like I said, I'll pop the video up of exactly as I found them and where I found them. Does the A100 have front seats? I think they're still there. I'd have to look again and see. So, but anyway, we'll get a video up on that. We'll get a video up on the batch of vans as I found them as well. And what else do I have coming up this week for videos? We'll do something with the vans, whether I do the one on the one I just picked up or we'll probably get the one up where as I found them. Hopefully have a video of the loader running this week. Ozark Fox loves panel trucks and sedan deliveries. Those are great vehicles as well. We'll get you another river car video up. A few guys commented right away that you like the river car video, so we'll definitely get one of those up. And a 1983 Chevy Suburban with a diesel. Are the vans running? No, the vans are not running. They've been sitting for quite a while. Pete says more river cars, so we'll definitely get another one of those up. I think I've got 4 or 5 river car videos at this point. Plus, I got a video on what got us down there. So as you watch a few more of these river car videos, you'll wonder how we got in there. I got a video on what got us down there too. So I think you guys will get a kick out of that. So that'll all be coming up this week. And so what else tomorrow, obviously, we've got the hearing at the house. We'll see how well that goes. So wish me luck on that. And go pick some stuff up and then get back here and get back to work, get some more of these vehicles hauled in and picked up. Weather's supposed to be pretty decent for a little bit, so hopefully we can make some good headway there. Anyway, Buchanan, do I still wear Vans shoes? Nope, I don't think I've ever had a pair of Vans shoes. But one thing about the Vans, there's one of the Vans that's kind of weird. It actually one of the Vans actually used to belong to Dad, so I'll tell the story about that too when we get to that one. So stay tuned for all that stuff. That'll be coming up in the very near future. With that pretty much gets through my worksheet for tonight. Once again, I always appreciate you guys hanging out with me. You guys are what makes this, just like Jason commented earlier, it'd be great to meet a lot of you someday. You never know. There's always a good chance some of our paths may cross in the future at different car events and things like that. But your guys' participation is what makes this what happens. So big job. River cars equal water or stitches. Yeah. Yep. Kevin, I'm surprised you didn't see any snakes in the river cars. Well, one thing, it's still in the middle of winter, but even then they don't, they try to stay away from you too. So Bill said, see you Tuesday. Have a safe Monday and Tuesday. We will not be live Tuesday night, Bill. I will still be out of town. So Rusty Nell says shagging vans. Yeah. Actually, these were more work vans than anything. None of them really super cool customs. They're just basically all work vans, unfortunately. But, so Toy Tuesday will probably be pre-recorded because I don't think I'm going to be back. Scott says, great show. Glad you made it. Papa T says, good night. Big Job says, good night. So Toy Tuesday will more than likely be pre-recorded depending on, because I doubt I'll be back. Ozark Fox water moccasin made me only in winter. Well, unfortunately, we didn't see any snakes, so I was perfectly happy with that. Frank, were the vans down by the river? No, the vans were actually not down by the river. So Papa T said he actually drives by here several times a week. Well, that's cool. Norma says, great show. Good luck in Topeka. I'm hoping it goes well. So Jason still wants to come visit at some point if he ever gets a vacation to get away. And that would be cool. So we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up. As always, it usually takes several minutes to get through the last of the comments. I always try to give everybody a few minutes for the last few comments that popped up. One thing we never did catch tonight, I guess nobody brought up, was the last issue of the Barris sign. We've had 4 Barris signs. This is the last one. This is just their shield. So this is the final in the series of the Barris custom signs that we've been showing for the last several weeks. Buzz, Roadkill Custom, good night. I'll need to better stock for the Hudson. Buzz needs to stock up better for the Hudson badge next time around. So Big Job said, yeah, last Tuesday threw him for a curveball. So yeah, at this point, I'm probably not going to be back. Not by the time I get stuff done in Kansas City. So, but anyway, that's what's happening. Stay tuned. Let me keep an eye on my YouTube channel. You guys on YouTube, I'll be real curious to see what you think as Gowans and I start tweaking some things. He's got a ton of ideas. This guy is really good at digital media. I mean, I'm a dum-dum. I don't know much about it. I fumble my way through. This guy knows his stuff. So he's like, let's try this and let's try this. So that's what we're going to do. T-Nology's on here at the end. We're getting ready to wrap up. Glad you made it for a little bit. So Jason, that's right. Jason says, make sure you look up Roadkill Customs. A lot of you guys already have immediately, and it's already using you guys. So a lot of you guys are already able to get some good information off there. That's great. Buchanan Auto Sales, thank you for the great time where you find cool porthole windows. Yeah. Buzz at Roadkill Customs says he's going to be ready. Tommy, how much for the green long wheelbase F100, 68 or 69? You'll have to call me on that because the only 69 I've got is blue and white. So give me a shout tomorrow on that, Tommy, and we'll try to narrow it down which one we're talking about. Norma says she knows the sign right off. Yeah, usually somebody asks about it. Nobody did right out of the gate, and I kind of got rolling and forgot about it. But once again, it is signed up here at the top. George Barris. These came out of this batch of 4 signs we ordered my daughter and I had been looking at the website, like I've told you, prior to his passing. We were thinking about ordering some stuff. When we saw that he had passed, we talked about it, like, we better get something. If we're gonna get it ordered, we better get it. They still had some autograph stuff listed. We ordered all 4 of the whole 4 set. Started off with the Hero Hot of Merc after it changed hands and sold at Meekum Kissimmee. Then we got to the Batmobile. Then we got to a la carte, and we wrapped up tonight with the Barris Customs badge. So that's what we've got. I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. We'll keep an eye on comments. Buchanan, look up Carcass on YouTube, and Jonathan W. I have to check that out. So I'm going to watch comments here for just a little bit longer as we get ready to finalize things and get wrapped up. Be sure to check out Roadkill Customs, everybody. As we've seen, tons and tons of great information on there. Huge shout out to Big Job for sponsoring the auction tonight. Glad you guys all jumped in and had a good time with that. Be sure to get your chances in for the raffle. The payment information is in the text for this video. If you click on the video after we get done, go through the text section. The email address, the mailing information is all in there. PayPal, friends and family only, since PayPal changed some of their rules. I will not take PayPal if it's not friends and family. You can also order t-shirts on there as well, and I can get those on the way to you. So be sure to get in for the raffle, though, pedal car or the cannon plate, and maybe a third place if we get 10 people playing along. Peter, good luck tomorrow dealing with the government. I'm hoping so. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. At least these guys are willing to talk about it. So that's something. Who knows if you'll get anywhere, but the fact that you get a chance to get in and talk about it, that's great. Jason has a big love you guys up there, and that's awesome because that's what it is. Hector's giving us a bunch of thumbs up on Facebook. But awesome show, awesome support, and it happens because of you. And like I said, huge shout out to Big Job for sponsoring the auction tonight. Stay tuned. We will have some more auction stuff next week. Trivia, I don't know what to do with trivia. Think about trivia as well, because if basically trivia doesn't work unless we just let it sit there and run long enough for somebody to find it in the videos. So think about trivia if where we want to go with trivia, and maybe we just switch to some other stuff. So let's see. Number one, drop airplane liquor bottles in cash while you speak. They'll listen. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to get wrapped up watching for the last few bits of comments here because, as always, as soon as I click end, I know a bunch more pop up. Buchanan Auto Sales, Junkyard Life, number one. So, that's right, big job. I'm going to sure try. We'll see if we can make any headway. That being said, it looks like we're about done. Not many more comments popping up. Watching both formats. Number one, the grain truck trivia question was unanswerable. It's tricky. It was tricky. It was in there, but it was tricky. That's true. I mean, I understand that, but that's the point of it. So, Hector says good night on Facebook. Jason says thanks. So, but that's the point. That's what I said. I don't know what to do with trivia. You got to make it tricky, or it's too easy, or you just make it a little trickier, and then everybody just sits there and goes through videos till you find it. Number one says, watch it a dozen times, no way you can see the name. Well, but that's how I found it. I went back and watched the video until I seen it. So I don't know, because that's where I got it from. I didn't go look at the truck. I got it off the video. And no, I probably didn't mention it, but no, I got it I wrote it down from my computer screen by watching the video. So, because that's what, that's how I do trivia. On Saturday night when I'm building my worksheet, I go through videos till I find something that's kind of tricky. So that's where I got it from. But next week is going to be a little bit different. Episode number 100 next week. So next week will be a little bit different format anyway. As we start working through past notes, that's what you guys wanted to do. So I don't know if we should skip a magazine and just worry about past notes. We'll just kind of play it by ear and see what happens. Or maybe we just spend the first few minutes on some past stuff and then get into the badge in a magazine like we normally do. So we'll kind of play that by ear. But next week, episode number 100. As crazy as that sounds, it's got to sound crazy to you because it sounds bonkers to me. So episode number 100 next week. It'll be a little bit different. We'll see what you guys want to do with it. We'll play around with it a little bit. We'll have some fun. We'll go back through some old notes of clear back when we started and see what we can make happen. So as always, thanks for watching, everybody. Super appreciate it. I super appreciate you spending what's once again a good chunk of your Sunday evening hanging out with me. I'm going to sign off. Keep an eye on the last couple of comments that I know are going to pop up as soon as we're done, but that's all right. Apologize for whatever I'm going to miss. I will see everybody probably next week. It's going to be the next time. That's right. Jason says big 100, big 100. So it's probably going to be next week before I see you, because I doubt I'm going to be back Tuesday night, and we'll see what happens then, what we're going to do with the 100th episode, and probably the next couple of them as we kind of work through some notes. Because I've got a lot of notes to work through. We're not going to catch all this stuff, but old notes on clear back on yellow pads up to when I started building stuff. So we'll flip through some things, have some fun with it, talk about some old topics. Some old topics may become new topics as we're working through it. We can always make some notes and reapproach some of this stuff. Some of the a lot of you guys weren't around, when we first started, and there were just a handful of you on. So Pete says peace out, and with that, I guess it's time to sign off. Joe says more World War II stuff for Toy Tuesday. I've got one shot already that I may have to use depending on what happens over the next couple of days. So, but if not, then we definitely need to do some World War II stuff the following Toy Tuesday for sure, Joe, because we haven't done it in a little bit. So we definitely got to get some of that done. OWI coming next weekend. Be sure to keep up with Sick Week this week, as Tom Bailey's new event, new drag and drive style event. Sick Week. I got a lot of friends down there on that deal. Our good friends, the Taylors, are there. Alex Taylor Racing, Dennis Taylor, Debbie, Meg, they're all there. It's going to be awesome. So be sure to keep up with Sick Week and what's going on with that as well. That being said, everybody, I'm going to get ready to bail off of here. I know I keep saying that, but comments keep coming in. It always takes 10 minutes to get off of here, but that is perfectly fine, because it takes 10 minutes to get off of here because of you guys hanging out, participating, jumping in. Lots of comments. Jason wants another Hudson badge. Before we bail off, we can definitely accommodate that. And that's why it takes 10 minutes to get off here. But that's great. The fact that it takes 10 minutes to get off here is awesome, and it's because of you guys. So that being said, thanks for being here, everybody. It'll probably be next Sunday night before I'm back on live with you. That's right, Jason, the dang drunk, so you keep going. But big job. Operating while intoxicated coming next weekend. So it was great being here with everybody tonight. PayPal to the auction on the auction winners, or just send me payment, whatever you guys want to do. Doesn't matter to me, whatever works. We'll get this stuff out to you. Same thing with raffle chances, same thing with t-shirts, and we'll get stuff rolling. Thanks for watching, everybody. Super appreciate you being here tonight. We will see you on some videos this week, and we will see you live here next Sunday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, Sunday night live chat. And let's have some fun next weekend as well on the big number 100. Yep, our 100th episode next week. Hope to see you all there. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for watching tonight. And thanks for your support and all the love and support for the show that you guys show me, not only by being here, but through the super chats, the donations back, all of it. It's awesome. Thanks, everybody. We will definitely see you next week, 7 o'clock Central Time here for Sunday Night Live Chat.